In October of 2009, it was my first day at Duke Regional. I walked into the building and I must have been greeted by 3 different people just saying hello and how are you and I hope you have a nice day, and I just kept looking over my shoulder wondering if they were talking to me because they were so friendly. By the time I got upstairs, I already had this very welcoming feeling in this community hospital. My name is Janna Pogers. I'm a physical therapist that works at the Duke Rehabilitation Institute up on 7-3 in Duke Regional Hospital. I love my job. I get to go to work every day and help people learn to walk again, learn to stand again, learn to love life again, and I'm blessed to do that every single day. When we decided to add to our family, it was a really exciting moment. I got pregnant with Maxwell. Adriana was going to be a big sister, and she loved to rub up on mommy's belly and talk to her baby brother as much as she could. So at 5:36 in the morning on August 26th, Maxwell was born. I gave birth at Duke Regional Hospital, and my coworkers were able to come down and see me and see Maxwell and see Mark and see Adriana when she was there. And it was so comforting to know that I had whatever I needed within a couple of floors of the hospital. We were there about 2 days, and I had probably over 10 or 15 of my coworkers come to see me and meet my son, and that meant a lot to me. The doctor was amazing and decided that she was going to go ahead and just run some blood work just to make sure that everything was okay. It took a while, and I sat there and I was feeding Maxwell and he was eating his bottle, no problem. And when she came back in the room, I saw that she looked upset and she said, "I've called an ambulance and you have to go to Duke." The medical side of me goes out the window. You hear the numbers that they tell you, and if I read those in my patient's chart, I would know how terrible those numbers are. But when it's your own child, you don't see it. And all I remember thinking was, well, they haven't told me what it is yet, so maybe it's not that bad. And you just wait, and you take the ride in the ambulance, and you wait for the definitive diagnosis, and then you figure out what to do next. After we told our family, one of the first people that I told was the senior occupational therapist, Angie Webb, because I knew that she was somebody that I could tell and handle the situation for me so that I didn't have to worry about anything else that was going on with my job or my friends and just focus on my son. And within an hour, my director had called and left me a voicemail. And it was nothing related to work. It was just him telling me how he was praying for me, and the whole department was thinking of me and caring for me. When I think about how all my coworkers rallied around me and were sending me love and prayers and support, I felt so comforted, and I felt at ease knowing that all these people were rallying around this little baby that has only even been on this earth for a few weeks. And I could feel them love him just as much as they love me. On November 17th, I was supposed to return back to work because my FMLA was up. I couldn't do that. I was out on personal leave, and Sally made sure that she found additional PRN coverage, consistent PRN coverage, to keep my other coworkers at ease and not feel like they were having to pick up the pieces of me being gone. Erica and Becky are an occupational therapist and a physical therapist that I work with in the department. They knew that there was a good possibility that Maxwell was going to need a bone marrow transplant, and they took it upon themselves to contact Be the Match and set up a bone marrow drive at Duke Regional Hospital in November. We signed up 98 people to be bone marrow donors in one evening. Tom Connolly is the director of physical, occupational, and speech therapy for all of Duke Regional. I saw a completely different side of him when this all happened, and he, in his own way, did exactly what I needed, which was give me time with my son. He never pressured me about coming back to work. He advocated for me to save my position at Duke Regional. And he allowed me to not feel pressured or worried at a time where I had enough pressure and worry in my life. And then 4 days later, Maxwell started to have trouble breathing. He just didn't look like himself. His heart rate was in the 200s. His respiratory rate was almost 100. And we were transferred to the PICU. And he was quickly intubated and put on an oscillator. And we got a diagnosis that he went septic because he had no immune system to fight whatever infection he had. He spent another couple weeks on the ventilator when his kidneys started to fail, and he didn't have an immune system to fight back anymore. And he was going to have to go on continuous dialysis. And when children have a transplant and go on dialysis, they don't typically come off. And my husband and I decided that he was telling us he was tired. And he didn't want to fight anymore. And we respected that. And on June 4th, 2015, we decided to let him rest. One thing that I think is really special about the people that I work with is when they were having their prayer circle, when Maxwell was passing away, they all talked about how their lives were changed for the better because of his journey and because of everything that they learned from him and from our family. And for me to know that Maxwell was able to touch people in such a way that he bettered them makes me such a proud mother. When I first came to Duke Regional, I was coming for a job and I gained a family. If my coworkers were standing in front of me, I wouldn't even know where to begin to tell them the amount of gratitude that I have for them. There's so many things that I want to say about how blessed I am that they're in my lives and how grateful I am that they're in my lives. I can say it over and over again, and I'll just never be able to repay them for everything that they did for me. I don't know how to tell them how amazing they are and how blessed I am that I get to work with them every single day.